What is happening, sports fans? Jermaine Matt from the DFS 5-pack. I am rocking it solo. It is Friday, March 18th. We got A games to talk over. This is take two video, just trying to get on here with DFS Patriot and have a little reunion of sorts because he's been gone all week, but unfortunately he was cutting out too much. We got about 5 games in, but it was too choppy. Decided to just cut it and call it quits halfway through because it seemed like a fool's errand. Just was too choppy. I would have appreciated listening to. So I'm on here solo. Me and him will be back together tomorrow. I know he's going to have an MMA right. First week back at work for him after having the baby, so we'll cut him a slack for not being on this week. I know we got a bunch of things in motion that we're going to be talking to and with you guys about in the next coming days, next week for sure. We're going to be working there more. We got some promotions with ABC Islands we're going to be talking about. So excited for all that. We got 12 NBA games to talk about, just in the spirit of it being Friday, the NCAA tournament, all that jazz. Going to be members only video for the public. I'm pumped about ML. I've already made about half this video one time, so this is my second time through. Should be short and sweet. I'll try to get this out as fast as I can as goes, and let's get after it. All right, so starting off, we've got Dallas and Philly. Not a game I'm overly interested in from a DFS perspective. I just don't think there's a ton here to look at. Luka, Embiid, Harden, Luka specifically, always in play. If you want to prioritize Luka, do your thing here. A bunch of good spend-up options, so I don't think he's going to be where I prioritize, but he's awesome. He gets up for spots like this. If you like Luka, do your thing. Embiid went through shoot-around. I expect him to play at 10-8, priced pretty cheap for who he is. They seem to do that for a bunch of the studs tonight. Pace down spot against Dallas. I think Embiid and Luka are peas in a pod here, and that they're studs that can go off at any given game, but not necessarily trying to put my money on it here. I just think there's better options across the board. Moving on, Memphis, Atlanta, another game that seems appealing from like a 50,000-foot view, but not overly excited about. Ja is going to play. Trey is truly questionable. From the Memphis side with Ja in, I'm not interested. It's a good spot against Atlanta, but they're healthy. All these guys take a usage hit with Ja in and Brooks now in. So Memphis is going to be a team I don't get to if I'm making one lineup. As far as Atlanta goes, Gallo's questionable. With him, if he's out, along with John Collins being out, Capella and Okongwu look more appealing. Other center options I just like more. I like Trae Young if he plays for sure, but I also like Kevin Durant, Jokic, and LeBron James who will a bit. So again, another game where I'm not prioritizing anyone. Here's a spot where I am looking at a couple of cheap guys that I like quite a bit. So from the Portland side, they're just really lacking NBA players right now. No idea why they're doing it, but they're taking a long look at Chris Dunn right now. Former top 10 pick out of Providence. I was always a big fan of his. Never quite materialized like the Bulls wanted him to after over in the Jimmy Butler deal with Zach LaVine. Played 28 minutes game. They just don't have any other options. At 3K, I like him quite highly in play for me. High on my short list in all formats, especially tournament. No one else from Portland I really like. Drew Eubanks is fine, but other centers I like more. Both centers from Brooklyn I like more. Andre Drummond, only 22 minutes, but dominated 40 DK points. And then Nick Claxton, 3,400, playing 20 to 25 minutes, a couple more, 26 against Dallas. If we're going to see them basically split the run with Claxton being 2K cheaper, I like Claxton a lot as a value piece. So Chris Dunn and Claxton, 2 cheap guys from this game I have a lot of interest in. One second, guys. All righty. From the elsewhere from the Brooklyn side, Kevin Durant. The only concern KD here is the blowout, but he should absolutely smash Portland. I mean, Portland, they're not playing with NBA players, so imagine KD walking into your local Lifetime and playing a pickup game, how he would fare. I think you can look for something similar here. In all seriousness, though, like Portland is not a good team. Brooklyn should roll. If the Trailblazers are able to keep in this, I mean, KD should and could be the top scorer on the slate. So worth looking at for sure, if nothing else. Denver and Cleveland. Denver is always Jokic or bust for me, and I like Jokic a lot. He only played 26 minutes, I believe, last time out. 26 minutes, put up 64 DK points. He's just a stud. Again, kind of in the Luka vein for me. I like him a lot, but nothing about this spot makes me be like, oh, I have to play Jokic. That said, with value elsewhere, he's certainly on the short list in all formats. One of the top spend-up options on the slate because he's always one of the top spend-up options on any slate he's on. From the Cleveland side, my Cavs have digressed a little bit. DG Garland at 85 is a fine play. 40 plus in 40 plus in 5 strong. I mean, most of his games are 40 plus. So at 8,500, I think he's a solid floor ceiling combination play. I'm not like in love with him here, but I think he's fine. Like solid play in a game that projects to be pretty competitive. And then Evan Mobley, I like a little bit less than Garland, but he's also a little bit cheaper. So there's that. On a lot of slates, I'd like Garland more here, but like with Van Vliet and Mike Conley, Chris Dunn, it's just not the spot I'm prioritizing. Washington at the Knicks. Nothing from the Wizards I like. I see their value guys getting a little bit of love. I'm not interested. I think there's better spots elsewhere. Rui would be my favorite guy. Porzingis is a little bit of an that we know he can when he's given run, but he doesn't play big minutes. So until we find out he's going to play big minutes, he's just a GPP dart throw, with upside if he gets that extra run, which I don't think is going to happen. On the Knicks side, RJ Barrett continues to really impress. Had the big feel bads for not using him last slate, dropped 51 in a blowout. Now in another good spot against Washington. He's just really, really turned his game over the last month and a half. Still probably underpriced his current role and how he's playing at 900. Might not be the slate where I use him because it's looking very stars and scrubsy, but he's one of, if not the top mid-tier play on the entire slate. So I like him quite a bit. Lakers and Raptors. So Lakers just got rolled by Toronto at home. LeBron for me. I mean, it's LeBron or bust from the Lakers side. 3 pretty meh games for him right after he threw up 3 monster games. I think we're going to see a bunch of this from LeBron going forward. Some games it's going to be spectacular. Other games, because he's a lot older, he doesn't have a lot of help, it's going to be trickier for him. So I don't mind LeBron here. They just got embarrassed by Toronto. Revenge spot. Yeah, I mean, LeBron is right there with those other studs I mentioned. Very hard to differentiate, but I don't think you can go wrong with any of those guys. No one else from the Lakers is even worth considering me here. From the Raptors side, Van Vliet looks way too cheap. I know he hasn't been great the past. Go back to March 9th, and he was dropping 44 and 41 in back-to-back games. Actually, the game before the March 9th was in February. So we know that Van Vliet is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he's off the report today. 7,600, great spot against the Lakers. I like him. Maybe a little bit riskier than normal just because of his injury concerns, but I personally think he's for 40 plus at least here. And with upside and at that price point, I'm all about it. Siakam balling right now, 50 plus in 4 straight. Gets another great against the Lakers. Scotty Barnes, I'm less interested in than Van Vliet in. And it's Van Vliet and Siakam for me, the 2 main horses. All right, we got 6 more games to go. This one should be a doozy. We got Indy and Houston. So from the Indiana side, Brogdon's in. Isaiah Jackson's out. Goga, if he looks great here. Looks like one of the best plays on the slate if he happens to be in. If he's out, we're looking at Terry Taylor, who's in play anyways, like even if Goga's in. Jalen Smith could potentially be a strong play. Indiana, like all these guys are already in play. With Goga out, the other two really strong plays. Gonna have to wait and see on the Indiana news just to really confirm that. As far as their backcourt goes, Halliburton and Brogdon and guys. Brogdon would probably be the guy I'd get to, but I'm not excited about him at all right now. This is appealing from a DFS perspective because you finally get Houston in a spot where they can win. Not that they can't win on any given day, but in a spot where they are projected to be very close. Christian Wood at 7,300 looks great here because in games that they're competitive, he plays big minutes and he's smash. I love him here. I love Christian Wood here. I think he looks like one of the best plays on the entire slate. Not getting a ton of ownership. Big fan. Jalen Green. KPJ coming off a monster game. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry, guys. We are back with your red program. From the Houston side, I like Christian Wood, and I think that's it. Wood's a priority for me right now, though, so I like him a lot. I don't think like anyone from this game is out of play, but Wood looks I really want. OKC and tough to talk about this game right now because from the OKC side, Shai is questionable. If he plays, he's in play always. I mean, he's under 10K, and they've priced down a lot of guys, so I don't think you have to play Shai at all in a tough spot against Miami. But more so, like if he's out, you get Maladon, you get Lindy Waters, Aaron Wiggins. Paisley's balling right now, especially if Shai's out. So we'll have to wait and see on the OKC news. Shai's in, he's always in play. If he's out, all of these secondary pieces become more appealing. Kind of the same here with Butler. Butler's questionable, did not practice yesterday. If he's out, Tyler Hero looks incredible. He looks like he's a decent play. Back-to-back monster games, great spot against OKC. Also like a lot here. The best scenario for the Heat is if Shai plays and Butler's out, because then the game should be relatively competitive or more than it would be. Bam looks great. We always know he takes on a big load when Butler's out. Definitely a game that's important to the slate, just not exactly sure how we approach it yet. Pels at Spurs. So from the Nolan side, Ingram's still out. McCollum's in. McCollum 93, I think looks good. Other guys like Devin Booker, talked about LeBron James. We just talked about Shai, Bam, the stuff. See Jokic, Van Vliet. McCollum's right up there. He's certainly in play. I imagine he gets some love as he deservedly should. Just has been really good since going over to New Orleans. Lost run last game because of a blowout. I think you can book him in plus with upside for more in a good spot against the Spurs. And then from the other side, it's always all about Dejounte Murray for me. A big win for them against OKC. He balled 65 DK points. He's the stud. At 10-6, he's, right there with Embiid and, he's the same price as Luka, the big studs on the slate, but he deserves. And if you want him to be your guy, I get it. I mean, he's the same price as LeBron James. He's been better than LeBron over the past 3 games, significantly so. So I could get why anyone would want to go there. Yeah, and you're definitely having money to spend with value all over. All right, Clippers in Utah. This is a place where we're going to have some of that value. So from the Clippers side, they're pretty much status quo. Kawhi. Hold on, guys. I feel like I got to state this feeling. All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming again. Sorry about that. Had a little sneeze wave come over me. Hopefully that's that. We're almost done with the slate anyways. From the Clippers side, like I said, Kawhi and PG are out. Reggie Jackson, man, continues to ball against an undermanned Utah team. I like him here. 7,600. A lot of guys are priced cheaper than they've been. In the mid-tier, I like Reggie here. Not going to get any love at all. He fits that mid-tier build for sure. No one else from the appealing to me. Actually, Marcus, don't hate it. 40 back games. This game should be competitive. I do not hate it. Other than that, Zoobs, no thanks. The Utah side is where it gets really interesting with Donovan Mitchell, Bogdanovich, Daniel House all out. We saw Hernan Gomez start last. He played 22 minutes, wasn't productive, only 10 DK. But I think you can go right back there, assuming he's starting. Rudy Gay only played 18 minutes. It wooed a lot of people. I think to go back to in a bounce back, albeit a little bit more expensive. Nikhil and Walker popping all over as one of the best value plays on the slate. Now, he did get a bunch of that running blowout time, so that is worth noting. That said, they're missing Donovan Mitchell. He's wildly in play as a filler piece. The guys, though, are Conley, who is playing good ball right now. Just do his thing. Lost run because of the blowout last game. 7,400. Smashed against the Bulls last time. A good matchup here. And then Clarkson, who we saw put up 45 real-life points a couple games ago, had a really good game last time out. I think my favorites would be Conley, Gobert, Clarkson, in that order based on their prices, but I get the case for all of them for sure. All right, couple games left. Boston and Sacramento. Boston's in a really good spot because when you're facing Sacramento, you're in a good spot. Tatum at under 10K, 9,500. Yeah, he looks good here. Again, a lot of guys look good on this slate. Jalen Brown, 7,500. He looks good. Robert Williams at 68. Big men have no problem getting after the Kings. Not in his greatest form, but I got no issues with going to him if you think he's going to have a big bounce back stealing game type of deal here. It's Brown, though. These guys are too cheap for their upside. I can't say that if I'm making one lineup right now, I'm going to play either or both of them, but both of them are too cheap for their upside, and in any type of lineup you can get there. From the Sacktown side, difference, nothing here really looks good. If Fox is out, that changes a lot. Questionable. All of a sudden, it makes the bonus appealing. His price is down to 8,700. With no Fox, he's going to eat up a lot of that. Steven is going to have the ball in his hands more. He's already playing good ball at 4,900. He's not crazy. You got Davion Mitchell, who's also playing pretty good ball. Interesting. At 3,800, Fox is out. I think we could look at a couple, at least, of these guys who aren't bad plays, even if Fox is in. So definitely keep your eye on Sacramento tonight. And if you're playing, they have some spots for late swap exposure, assuming we don't get that news earlier. Last but not least, one of our real-life games of the night, Bulls and Suns. From the Chi-Town side, Levine is going to play. He's very affordable at 7,700. Coming off a really good game at Utah, even though they got rolled. I can play him at that price point. Vooch at 81, not a bad play. DeRozan at 9, not a bad play. All these guys eat into each other. Their prices are cheaper, so it makes them all a little bit more appealing. But on a slate this size with so many good plays, I don't think I get to any of them here, especially if I'm making one lineup. From the Phoenix side, Booker looks elite. Again, blowouts in each of the past two games has cut his minutes and upside. And now what should be a close game, he like one of the best plays on the slate. DeAndre 8, fine with him at 7K. Other centers I like more, but fine with it. With Cam Johnson out, if Jay Crowder is also out, we could easily see Torrey Craig back in there. Now, I would not be fooled by that PK point game against Houston. That's Houston. You're not going to see him drop 21 and 14 off it, 8 for 8 from the field. If he's starting, he's in play. With so many other value pieces, I don't think you have to lock him in. Cash game guy for me personally. All right, let's build a little bit. I'll do one build, even though it's a little bit fool's errand. Let's go. My boy Chris Dunn. We'll go Claxton. We'll go Goga if he plays. I like Goga a lot. Now we're working a lot of money. Still waiting on so much news, but I can't play Gobert here either. Stinks. Okay, LeBron. Let's go Van Vliet. So we got 73. Only one guard spot left, which stinks. Booker. Easy enough to throw D-Book in. I don't know the Utah guys, but that just is what it is. I mean, oh, shoot. The other guy, I can't. I got it. I'm going one over Claxton here. What's that? Maybe 44. In here, the guy like Terry Taylor is very interesting to me. And then 57, 100 at small forward. I mean, you guys get it, a Bruce Brown type, one of those guys. Obviously, a lot can change. So, yeah, wanted to get this out to you guys. Take two. I had Patriot on me for the first one, but it was just copy. So I apologize about that. He should be on me. Yeah, not on me. He should be on with me either tomorrow or definitely next week for sure. I'm excited about some announcements we got coming away. Appreciate you always. Let's crush this slate. If you have any questions, I'm around. If you want more content or any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. Thanks as always. Thanks again, guys.